Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review AJR's most recent album, 2023's The Maybe Man, released just last year. This album is definitely really good. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks added to my playlist, 7 out of 12, so a little more than half. This album has got some really great tracks on it that work really well. Not all of the tracks are great though, but none of them are particularly bad. Some are just a little bit more boring. There's a little bit of a lull around the halfway point, starting with sort of inertia, but they bring it back up with the DJs crying for help, 8th track. The album flows really well. It's balanced in terms of fast and slow, which is good because the slower tracks are generally weaker, while the faster tracks are all pretty incredible, so it kind of balances that out in terms of quality too. As usual, the opening and closing tracks are very well placed. The opening title track is better than their sort of usual overtures, in my opinion. The closing track, 2085, is good, but it's really the second half which calls back to that opener, which closes the album really well. The overall quality here is pretty good. The album is kind of half really great, relatively quick tracks, and half just kind of alright slow tracks. So it evens out into something that's still really good, but definitely not incredible. There were a bunch of singles released before the album, starting all the way back in 2022, in order. I Won't, The DJ's Crying for Help, The Dumb Song, God Is Really Real, Yes, I'm a Mess, and Inertia. Of all of those, I think Yes, I'm a Mess is the only one that did particularly well on the radio, although I may have missed some of it. I haven't listened to a ton of the radio in the past 2 years. My favorite track here is probably 4th track, The Dumb Song. It actually kind of sounds like The Strokes, which is really interesting, not really something that they've sounded like before. Steve's Going to London was a very close runner-up. Definitely one of my favorite songs from them, both of them. None of the other songs really came close to those two in terms of the favorite, so those are definitely really good. I rank this album 3rd out of AJR's 5 albums, which does complete my rankings for them. I think this album is really close to OK Orchestra, but loses out by just a little bit due to sort of a slightly lower quality slow songs on The Maybe Man. It's definitely still higher quality than the Click or Living Room, and doesn't quite flow as well as Neo Theater, but OK Orchestra and The Maybe Man are definitely really similar, but I think OK Orchestra just has slightly higher quality and slightly better flow to it, so that one is ranked higher. Also, this album doesn't take my top spot from 2023. That stays with the Splatoon 3 soundtrack, Splatoon 3, which I really like, but it's kind of hard to judge between a soundtrack and a regular album. But I definitely think that I prefer the Splatoon 3 soundtrack. It is really great, and I cannot recommend it higher. So, thank you for watching. Next up is Queen's 1989 album, The Miracle. It's not bad, but it's not one of my favorites from them. And it is the last Queen album I have to review, so that's pretty interesting. So stay tuned for that, and as always, stay minty.